Hey guys, welcome back to the United Star and 2-1 loss to Sevilla. Nothing much to say. I think Prasham and I have differing opinions about this game, and I'm going to leave it to Prasham to first talk, and then I'll get into it.
This is absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. I'll tell you what. First of all, we came out in both halves. We started brightly. We had our chances. In the second half, especially, there were three or four chances where Sevilla literally served it onto a platter for us to finish it, and our strikers weren't good enough to take those opportunities, and that came back to haunt us. The referee, unbelievable. He was there to make this game about himself, and that's all he wanted to do. He had no. He was. It was so sad that he was shit for both sides, but unbelievably poor refereeing. You could see it from here that it was atrocious. That foul on Martial, forget the red card. How do you play advantage on that when Rashford is literally the only player standing from Manchester United on that goal? I don't understand. But let's get to our players. Victor Lindelof, I do not understand what his problem is. Why can't he judge where the cross is coming from? Why can't he judge where the ball is going to end up? There is no anticipation from him. He just runs around with a dazed face and makes a few blocks here and there.
Prasham, let me get in here, okay? I want to add to something that you've been talking about, and I agree about Lindelof, big mistake. But I want to add 2 points. Firstly, you spoke about the ref. He was shit. Let me get this straight. We shouldn't have conceded the first goal at all. It was our throw. It wasn't theirs. You've already said about the red card. Forget the red card. The foul that Martial had, where he was clear on goal, not given. We looked at Bruno getting kicked. If this was the Premier League, that's a penalty. There were so many soft chances which he's just not given. I don't
And
care
Vishesh,
whether
no
I don't care.
consistency.
No, one
No
minute. I don't
consistency.
care if this video, and people call us Penaldo or whatever the fuck they want us to call. But this was not the refereeing that we deserve, and we've been seeing this over and over again. I'm going to take other teams' names. We see Chelsea, Arsenal, bad refereeing. We see tonight's game, bad refereeing. I mean, what's the point of having a referee if you're going to have a WWE match? I mean, that guy, who was that guy who fouled Rashford and gave that penalty for such a high-started tackle, isn't even given a yellow card? Is it a joke going on out here?
Vishesh, I completely agree with you. I can't say how disappointed I am with the quality of the referee. This guy is essentially a German version of Mike Dean. But let's also focus on where our players fell short, because we
No,
had the chances.
I think something's been shown within Manchester United now, and it's very clear we crumble under pressure. We lost to City in the semi-final. We lost to Chelsea in the semi-final. Today we've lost to Sevilla in the semi-final. You want to pick on players? I can pick on everyone.
Yeah,
They
yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
nothing to do.
The only two people who walk out with their head held mid-level is Martial because he tried the entire game to create something and just it was this utter refusal to pass it to Martial for some reason. And Fred, who actually broke up play, but again, passing the ball, Fred was horrible, but at least he broke the play up. Apart from that, I do not understand how Harry Maguire can call himself a captain. Absolutely disgraceful. His shoulders dropped so quickly as soon as we concede the goal. Victor Lindelof, I don't even want to get into it. Unbelievably bad. Brandon Williams, he's a young player, so I'm not going to get onto him either. But he needs to really work on his defensive abilities. Paul Pogba, invisible. Bruno Fernandes, absolutely useless. No creative output. Marcus Rashford looks like he's still on the hospital bed. Mason Greenwood,
Prasham,
I'm so
Prasham,
happy that he keeps shooting, but man, he needs to start passing. He needs to start passing that ball. And I'm so frustrated. No, Vishesh, 1 second. With Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I know that we don't have people on the bench. I know our second team is not good, but Marcus Rashford is having a horrid night, and you need to bring players on. Why don't you try bringing Mata on? Why don't you try bringing Igalo on? Why don't you try a route one kind of play with Igalo? There's no creativity. Change it up, try something else. Ole just sits there and does nothing. He did not try anything. And Vishesh, the worst part, the absolute worst part, we went 2-1 down and there was no hunger in the game. There was no
Prasham,
urgency in the game and we
Prasham,
didn't try anything.
Prasham, I get where you're coming from. We've lost the game, but there's some stuff I just don't agree with. Okay, that I mean, I get the part that you're talking about Lindelof being completely shit. In that moment where we conceded the goal, I get the part where Maguire let his shoulders down. But picking on players like Pogba, I think Pogba had a good game. I think he was making some very solid holding the ball when that was needed. And I think this comes with different perspective of how the position's being played. If I
No,
want to pick
Vishesh,
on people,
let me ask you one thing. Let me ask you one thing,
if I
Vishesh.
want
Wait,
to pick on
let me ask you one thing.
people,
After we went 2-1 down, how much time did Pogba spend dwelling on the ball and not? He's the man who has to create that urgency from midfield, but he just kept holding the ball 5, 6 touches and then playing a simple pass off. Come on, man. It was absolutely horrible.
Prashant,
Horrible.
if today you have to blame someone, it's probably our wingbacks, our full defense, in fact, because the first
And
goal,
Rashford.
yeah, and because the first goal we conceded, Aaron Wan-Bissaka sloppy play, Brandon Williams not covering his position. Second goal we conceded, Lindelof just allowed the ball to pass through. We saw Bruno get so frustrated. Why can't these players show that frustration and that commitment levels on their face while playing rather than arguing with one another? That's what I want to know. And I think something's clear out here, right? And you've mentioned it. I don't agree with what you said about Ole, and that's a completely different debate, and we'll have that later. But one thing it's clear, we do not have a bench that our manager trusts. Whether we like that or whether we don't like that, that is out of question. And if Ed Woodward does not bring in the signings come the start of the season, I am it will be, we can't blame Ole for that. We can't blame the players for that. It's time for us to get together as a fan base and argue with that bloody board and that bloody man up front. That's all I want to
Vishesh,
say.
Vishesh, you don't trust the players, you don't do anything. These players are professionals. After going 2-1 down in a bloody semi-final, if you are telling me that they weren't able to muster up some urgency, some passion, some pride, it is unbelievable. I don't understand how they cannot muster up any of that. These are world-class players. These are supposed to be players earning 200,000 a week. For what? 2-1, you go down and you've already given up. At 2-1, did you think once that we're going to come back? Was there one chance that we could have scored? No. Why at 2-1 do you not take Marcus Rashford off straight away and bring Igalo on? Try something else. Try Igalo playing off balls to Martial, running off him. Try something else. Why do you keep doing the same thing again and again when it's not producing results? I'm so frustrated right now because of the lack of desire. Once again, it is the lack of desire, Vishesh. We lose a game, it's not a problem, but the lack of desire really hurts. We stay up watching each game till 2:30, 3 a.m. in India, and we got to watch this absolute lack of desire in the last minutes, in the extra time. They had the better chances. They were being caught offside. We weren't even making the runs. We weren't even getting caught offside. Unbelievable, Vishesh. Unbelievable.
Guys, I'm going to keep this video short. We are going to have an Ole analysis after this, so do check that out. But yeah, we're knocked out. We're still in the Champions League, so don't be like, oh, okay, Ole out, bandwagon. We still
No,
qualify.
there's no reason to say Ole out, but there is also no reason to not criticize him when he deserves the criticism.
But
I think today it calls for criticism. I'm not saying Ole out. I think Ole has had a good season. 3 semi-finals, third place with the squad we have. He needs to be congratulated and commended for that. Let's get that clear. We at this channel or me personally aren't supporting Ole out at all. But when there is room for criticism and room for improvement, I think that is the only way we move forward. And we must criticize him today because there was room for changes. He needs to be able to think on his feet and change tactics, and he never does that. And he needs to do that. And going into next season, there are things he can work on personally as well, as the players have to look at themselves. There's no pride in this team, there's no desire in this team.
guys, that's about it. I guess our next preview will be around the 16th or 17th of August because we get 30 days off if the Premier League think that we are viable for that. Otherwise, you don't know how they treat Manchester United. So that's about it, guys. We're knocked out of the Europa League. Hell with it. There's something better known as the Champions League. Just go see the other games, man. That's about it, guys. Bye.